Scotland, the long, sickle-shaped coast of Ayrshire, the sandy, gravelly shores, the rocky headlands, the white-slashed breakers moving in on the shore in a long-throated gargle of boulders and pebbles, or pounding the headland rocks. To this ancient shore came the men of the days when old time was still young. They builded, and their buildings perished. The generations followed the generations, and they builded. They builded beautifully and with enduring craftsmanship. So much endures of their strength and their beauty. Dunure, Crossraguel, Kilwinning, Dundonald, Culzean, Greenan. Glorious heritage of the domestic and religious life of days that are gone. From the womb of time, the generations press forward to the grave. But they builded well, those men of the dusty yesterdays, of the generations long gathered to the dust. Ayr, the county town, the market and administrative centre of the county, lying across the waters of the Firth of Clyde. Man and beast. Of the beasts, the horse, the cow, and the sheep. The cow has moved forward with the advancing civilizations based on the economy of the cow, and no place in these islands more than here. The economy of the cow. Milk, butter, cheese, beef, horn and hides, and manure. The Ayrshire cow has reached what is perhaps the highest point of milk-producing perfection. For long it has been world famous. Market days move on too with the generations. The calm, keen faces of farmers buying and selling and exchanging the crack of the day. Mindful too, maybe, of lean, hard times when a country, overfed on imports, thought but lightly of their produce.
Let's fast forward from 1949 to 2023. It's Friday night. It's Chasing Descent. It's all in.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Well, hello. Hello, one and all. How are you? Guess what? It's just Johnny again. I know. It's bad. Why have I got a ripple? Do you see that ripple in the background? What's going on? So, right. First things first. Ben went to hospital last night because he had a sore gut. He spent most of the night there. He didn't really come to any kind of determination other than they thought it might be his appendix. My volume is quiet. Really? Wow. Yeah, it does look a bit quiet. What the hell's going on? I've been having all sorts of weird things happening today. PC's playing up. Give me a second, chaps. Hello. Is that any better? Is it changed at all, or is it just the same? Just the same. Okay, let's why would the volume have changed? Okay, how's that? Is that any better? Anyway, as I was saying, Ben went to hospital last night, spent most of the night there, got sent home in the morning, told to come back told to go to Hastings, which is 30 miles away or whatever. So told to go to Hastings for some sort of review at 9 o'clock, turned up, sat there until 3:30 before he was seen, and then told to come back in the morning at 8:30 for keyhole surgery to remove his appendix. So that's why Ben's not here, because he's writhing about in pain, I believe, or he certainly can't sit on the chair and be his normally brilliant self while we mock him. So, hence the Last Supper, because you never know, going to be a general in it. Ben, if you're watching this, send me the passwords to Patreon. I don't want to be locked out. So there you go. He tells me he'll be back on the chair on Monday. So we'll see how that goes. But so same question I gave you the last time, you guys. Do you want an old episode, or do you want me to rabbit on and try and get through the news? That's the question. Do you want me to rabbit on, or do you want to just sit back and listen to me and Ben talking about something that happened like a couple of months ago? Oh, Shalini says stay. Beginning to like you, Shalini. Beginning to like you. You'd like to hear me go through the news, says Spencer. Rabbit on all you want, even though I'm falling asleep. Well, yeah, you're not drunk this week though, are you? You were drunk last week. Or was it the week before? I can't remember. Was Ben here last week? I can't even remember the last time I did a show with him. Good God. People are just leaving me, dumping me left, right, and centre. It's bad. It's bad, people. I don't know what's happening. I'm being left to it. Right. Let's start with the news. Shall we cover? Pardon me. Let's start with this submarine thing. Okay. So I can't get my head round this. That submarine was lost when they lost communication. That's what happened. Because it went down. It was down at a bloody good depth. They lost communication, and that's basically when it imploded. And that's what the US Navy is now telling us. Right? So the question is, why they spin it on for 4 days, counting down the oxygen, when they knew there was nothing there? And what was all this nonsense about SOS banging and all this rubbish? Because that couldn't have been happening. So, and the US Navy goes, oh, well, it's a top secret listening station. Well, it's not top secret anymore, is it? But anyway, it's never been top secret, because if you read The Hunt for Red October, Tom Clancy used to spin out exactly where all the listening stations were. And through the break between Iceland and the UK and all, I mean, for God's sake, people. Right, so they could have said there and then, right? Yes, for the families, but how does it help the families, Shalini? How does it help? It's false hope, because if you know the people are dead, because, and I listened to Bob Ballard last night, and Bob Ballard's not Tim Ballard, don't get confused. So Bob Ballard is the guy that found the Titanic. He's the guy that worked with James Cameron and made the movies and all that. He's been down there, I think, at least 12 times. And he's got ROVs and things. He's got an ROV that can go down there and pull that submarine back up if it had been in one piece, except his ship's in the Pacific just now. So he couldn't help, he was just too far away. But Bob Ballard was pointing out he found a couple of US subs that had got themselves into difficulties and gone down too deep and imploded, right? And one was a USS Thresher, I think, and he said it was just shredded. Now you think about a submarine; it's made of a stainless steel multiple pressure hull, right? But when you're down at that kind of depth, it's just boom. Just boom, everything goes, and I don't think people understand the amount of pressure that's down there. because that's nearly 5 miles deep. It's crazy. You know, I've been scuba diving. If you've been scuba diving, or even better, if you've been diving in a dry suit and gone down to 30 or 40 meters, right? When you come back up, your skin's all marked because as the folds in the suit have been pushed into your skin so much that you look like some kind of, you look like some kind of alien because you've got all these crisscross lines all over your body where the folds of the suit have been pressed into you. So that's at 40 meters. Now, these guys were down 3,000 meters, nearly 4,000 meters. That's just crazy. You know, there's no hope. And there was other guys that had been down in that submarine before and said, look, when you're going down in it, there's you're signing, even on the first page, it mentions death 3 times, right? So, you know, it's risky. Going down to that depth is risky. If anything goes wrong, it's almost certainly a death sentence. Almost certainly. Because there's in these kind of tiny submarines, there's no margin for error. You know, there's no extra room or anything. So, boom. Saving grace, it would have been instantaneous. Bob Ballard said it would have been quicker than shooting yourself in the head. It would have been that quick. It's just boom, gone. So that's a good thing for the family. I don't think the 4-day spin out thing though was helping them, unless they were told about it, and they just did it to try and break the rest of us in gently. But it does explain why the US Navy's Curve 21 was never deployed. That was always on standby. So that's a deep sea rescue vehicle. It also explains why the UK one and the Magellan and all that were left in the UK and not asked to come in. And the French one wasn't asked to come in, although Macron decided he was going to send it anyway. So it kind of explains that. They all knew. The Coast Guard and the Navy knew. So there's no doubt in my mind that they knew, and they were just going through the motions. Which is quite, in some respects, it's quite, why do that? Why not just be up front? But as, was it Andrew that said maybe they were just trying to keep Biden, Hunter Biden's stuff off the paper? But, Hunter Biden's bomb-proof. He's bomb-proof, isn't he? I mean, he goes up with a felony. The firearm application thing's a felony, right? Got to be a felony. Gets off with it. Not even mentioned, basically. And the 2 tax things, misdemeanors. Yeah, gets off with them. I mean, 2/3 of the people that have tax problems in the state go to jail. Not Hunter though. He's one of the lucky ones. One of the third. Just a minor thing. It's all right. And, a £5 million bribe from a foreign oil company, Burisma. Oh, it's nothing. And your dad got it as well. It's nothing. Don't worry about it. What's 5 million between friends? Yeah, one can hope karma will get them. One can hope. Yes, right. Gallows humour. Yeah, but there's been a lot of that going about. The left really are a nasty bunch these days. I don't understand it. I mean, because they're mocking this and then saying that we don't care about migrants that are dying in the Greek islands and things like that. But both groups knew the risks before they got on the ship, and neither groups were forced to. Because as far as I'm aware, Egypt's not at war with anyone. Tunisia's not at war with anyone. Libya's not at war with any of them. So, these people are leaving these countries and, they're seeking to go to Europe. They're not leaving a war zone. So don't let that fool you. And these people are economic migrants, so they are choosing to do what they're doing. And in most cases, they're paying handsomely for it. They're paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 by the time you get to the channel. So these guys aren't short of a bob or two. They're coming here with purpose. And I don't mean a dolphin, So, yeah. But I think it was it's a bit rough mocking it. And then the whole, oh my God, the conspiracy theories are starting already, you know. It's all it was a hit to take out that guy Dawood, who was going to burst something. You know, he was a WEF member and he was going to burst some information that was going to bring down, well, no, he wasn't. He probably wasn't, right? So anyway, he's there and apparently he's going to burst things. So they decide they'll coax him into taking a trip on a dodgy private submarine to go and view the Titanic. And while it's down there, somehow they'll manage an implosion, which will kill the entire crew, wipe out him and his 19-year-old son as well, right? But why would you do that? Why would you do that? So if you're running an assassination squad and someone comes to you and goes, well, we could do this, or we could get a guy to push him down the stairs or in front of a tube train, right? And you're looking at this, and then you're looking at that, and you go, well, the budget says we'll just push him in front of a tube train. or he maybe falls underwater when he's in his hot tub and doesn't get back up, you know, that kind of thing. You keep it simple. This is just crazy. I mean, what kind of this is like a William, it's like a Willie E. Coyote scheme, isn't it? To get the Roadrunner. You make it as complicated as you possibly can in order to kill one guy and take out a bunch of others at the same time, you know, when you don't really need to. But let's just make it as complicated and as expensive as we possibly can to get this guy dead. No, that's not how life works. It's not even how security services work. And someone said, well, there wouldn't be any witnesses. Well, yeah, okay. If someone falls against them and he falls in front of a tube train, what's the problem? You know, I'm terribly sorry I bumped into him, you know, and he's one of your guys, so you hide him and all that. Yeah, the whole thing's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Oh. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, Roadrunner was annoying. I never liked Roadrunner. I always wanted Willie E. Coyote to win, but never did. Never did he? Right, so let's move on. Move on, shall we? So Rashid Sunnah and Jeremy Hunt, have come up with a plan. Right, as part of his war on interest rates and inflation and all this, and keeping you in your house. He's come up with a plan, and the plan is that they won't be able to sell your house out from under you if you fail to make the mortgage payments, because the interest rates hiked so much that you can keep it for an extra 12 months before they can sell it out from under you. How's this going to help anyone? Because, you know, just because you can't have your house repossessed, they're not letting you off with the money. They're not letting you off with the bill. Because they'll still come back at you and say, yeah, okay, well, you didn't pay for 5 months that year, so we'll just add that onto your mortgage. And then you'll pay more interest on that. Because remember, we lent you this money, so we're charging interest on the money that we gave you. But that money never existed. So they're charging you money on money that they didn't have, that they didn't give to you, and you didn't use to buy your house. The whole thing's a massive Ponzi scheme. And the only person losing in it is you, because everybody else wins. Fractional reserve banking's just a joke. I don't understand how people get away with it. And then they worry about inflation. Well, yeah. If you keep jacking up the interest rate, that's going to cause inflation. I mean, look at the interest rate and what's it, Argentina just now? It was like 35% or something like that, and their inflation's running at like 99%. So, I mean, Argentina's like, it's like 1930s Germany. You'll be taking wheelbarrows to go and buy, you know, a loaf of bread because you'll need that much cash. And you're only allowed, in Argentina, you're only allowed I think you're only allowed $200 a month. Because if you had more than $200, people would just start using US dollars for everything. So Argentina's just a failed state. It really is. It's gone. And we're not going to be far behind if we don't buck up. And the thing that gets me is when Karting and Truss did their budget, they were cutting costs and giving you a budget that was going to promote growth from small business and regular business. But Sunak's budget didn't do anything. All it did was ramp the prices up on everybody across the board. Everything costs more. Energy costs more. Everything. So all the prices go up. I mean, because if you don't put the prices up, how are you going to pay for things? So all the prices go up. All the food prices go up. People need more money. Everybody goes on strike because they want more money because they think they deserve more money. So the wages go up. Inflation goes up. House prices goes up. Mortgages go up. Inflation goes up. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what you want to do is you want to encourage some kind of growth. And it's like Ben, and I agree with it. Cut that. Cut that. Give them a budget that's not taking the money off them. And then if you cut that, the money goes to the people that are making the product. So it's going into production. It's going into the economy. It's not coming back out of it. Because that's just a theft from the government. It doesn't go back into the economy. It just goes back into the government. You should get rid of that completely. You're right, Spencer. That's just, I mean, none of the wealthiest countries in the world do not tax their populations at all. They don't charge tax. They don't income tax you. So what are we doing wrong? Because we're not one of the wealthiest countries in the world, obviously, because we do tax our population. Government do steal too much of our money as it is. And then that's the whole NHS, the free NHS. The NHS isn't free. You pay through the nose for it, right? You just pay at the source, not at the point of sale. It's free at the point of delivery, but it's not free. You're paying for it every day. Even you go through. Say you go 50 or 60 years and you're never ill. You've paid for the NHS every day that you've worked. Every day you've worked, you've paid for the NHS. You've never used it. Now, if you were paying an insurance scheme, your insurance premiums would be generally lower. Okay, they might go up as you get older. But if you've never used that insurance, your premiums would come down, wouldn't they? Like a no-claims discount. That doesn't happen with the NHS. You don't get a no-claims discount. And if, by the same token, if you overuse it, if you abuse it, you don't get penalties. You don't have to pay more. So it's a failed system as well. It doesn't work. And I'm not suggesting that a private system's perfect, but the system we've got doesn't bloody work, especially with the amount of mismanagement that's in it. It's completely mismanaged. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you're right all about petrol's just ridiculous, yeah. You're paying fuel duty, you're paying VAT, you're just paying across the board. And the thing is, the actual people that produce the petrol and the petrol station that sells the petrol, they make next to nothing on it. I don't even know how they can manage to give you 5p off a litre when you buy 20 quid's worth of messages. Anyway, everything is a con. Right, moving on. Okay, what about the match of the century? What's all this? Why did Elon Musk suddenly challenge Zuckerberg to a cage fight? Have you seen this data, Elon Musk? He needs to do a bit of work before he starts thinking about cage fighting. And I know Zuckerberg's a bit of an automaton, but he looks quite lean, so I'd be careful. But yeah, this is the talk of the steamy. Musk and Zuckerberg to do a cage fight. Apparently they're both up for it. So we'll see what happens. But, it's got to be worth a laugh. Rees-Mogg versus Pelosi, that's not a fair fight. Rees-Mogg's only 50-something. Pelosi's like 80-something and she's a woman. Yeah. So, maybe we could get Joe Rogan to referee our commentary on it. Oh! And Zuckerberg! It's like, it would be like two cyborgs fighting, wouldn't it? You know, because Musk isn't he's not the most eloquent of guys either. Zuckerberg is definitely an automaton. There's something wrong with him. Something far wrong with him. But, yeah, so that would be quite fun. Do you want Rees-Mogg and Paul Pelosi stripped to the waist? Or just do you want them to fight naked? A la that movie with Alan Bates and Oliver Reed. Dear oh dear. We just don't need that. No, we don't need that. Moving on from the cage fight, who's the other guy that's fighting just now? This little clown, this Jack Russell guy, this Peter Hotez. What is going on with this? Because it's an awful lot of people coming out saying things like, no, we can't have science being debated. You know, we can't have debates in science. We can't have scientists speaking to the common man. You just need to accept that scientists are right and you do as you're told. You know your place in life. You know, science is correct and you can't question it because you don't know enough to question it. So don't question it. Just get on with it. No, and that's not how science works. And he knows that. In fact, he came out with, in 2020, he was making speeches at universities saying that we need to communicate better with people so they understand science. Now he's completely changed his mind. No, I can't possibly talk about science with a non-scientist. They couldn't even understand what I'm saying. You Jack Russell vermin catching little creep. He really is a horrible, horrible man. There's just something about him that makes my skin crawl. I do not like him at all. Oh, right. Yeah, I hope Ben's okay as well because, you know what, people, and this might sound like a conspiracy theory, but I'm going to have to get it off my chest. So we had a meeting yesterday, Ben and I, in the morning. And we have a meeting every morning. But we had a meeting yesterday morning and we said, you know, we're going to have to knuckle down a bit because we need to improve our marketing. We need to get more subs and things like that. So if you're not subbing or subscribing or commenting, please do that because it helps the algorithm and it helps us to generate an audience. And what we need to build an audience so as we can get some money, you know.
We just need cash. I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
But we do. I mean, we like doing this. We want to keep doing it. But to keep doing it, we've got to make money. I'm not begging you. I'm just saying, you know, if you like it, help us out one way or the other. Comments always help as well. So don't be shy about commenting on the feed. Let us know what you think. And we do read them all. So anyway, as I said, we're having this meeting and we're talking about marketing and all that. And we're talking about the other channel and, you know, what we need to be getting done. And I did mention that he really needs to bring his A game back because he's slackened off a little bit. And then the next thing I know, he's in fucking hospital and he's not coming on the show. And he's not doing his guest on Saturday. And I'm kind of thinking, a little shit. It's a conspiracy. So, is he really getting his appendix out, or is he just sitting at home eating chocolate going, I'll teach that old bugger. I'll teach him. Yeah, because I wouldn't put it past him. Shalini, you bring up a good point. Good point. Because Adam could well be part of the show. But where is Adam? Where is Adam? Yeah. So yeah, there you go. No, I kind of just get left in the lurch and left to pick up the pieces and left to crack on with it. And you know, I feel bad for you guys because you got to sit and listen to me talking shite when you could at least get a break from it. Because I mean, Ben for all his faults, he's kind of sensible. And I mean, Adam, he's a bit slow, but at least you can understand him, I suppose. You know. Who, Adam, onto Discord? All right. I haven't been on Discord for ages. I haven't been on Discord for ages. I find these things quite tiresome. I just end up back on Twitter again, you know. I seem to do everything on Twitter. Right. Yeah, right. Where were we? Well, I think have we dealt with Jack Russell of Science, that horrible little man? Yeah, there's not a lot to say about him. The whole thing's a bit set up. I don't like it at all. It's part of this. It seems to be part of this, you know, don't question science thing. And then you get clowns like Witty. He's doing it as well now. He said, "Can't have you questioning science," but why not? Because the science is invariably wrong many, many times. So science by its very nature needs to be questioned. So yeah, I'm not happy about what he's saying, things like that. That he's sorted. What's going on? Why have I got this kind of ripple thing going on in the background? Is it because I changed the colour of my lights? I don't know if I like that. Is that stop? No, is that? It's still there, isn't it? It's still there, but it's not as noticeable because the lights are purple instead of orange. Oh, I don't understand that. That was just something else. I mean, why would there be a ripple? They're LED lights. They're not meant to be flickering, and there's no tubes or anything on. Anyway, it's cool. Thank you. Frame rate? The frame rate is 25 frames per second, which is what it should be if you want to be cinematic. But maybe changing the frame rate might be a good shout. That's a good shout. It's not something I can do right now, but thanks DW, I'll try that. I'll maybe try running it at 30 and seeing if that makes a difference. Because maybe, again, LED lights shouldn't flicker, but I'll try changing the frame rate and seeing how it goes. Right, they are cheap LEDs, I'll give you that. Everything in here is cheap. I don't know what's going on with my... Oh, it improves once they're binned, does it? Oh, okay, let's bin the Twitter stream then. Sorry, Twitter. That's you had your half hour. So come along to YouTube. Come to YouTube. We don't bite. We'd love to see you there. And Twitter don't pay us, so please come to YouTube and watch us there. Bye-bye. There you go. Right. That's Twitter. That's Twitter off. Bye, Twitter. I don't know if it changed at all. Let's turn Twitch off as well, see if that makes a difference. Right, so we're just on Rumble and YouTube now. Anyway, right, let's get back into the news of the day. Let's go to Ireland. So and then let's go to the land. Did you like the intro? No. From 1949, the county of Ayr, my hometown. So there you go. I dug that up. That was quite interesting, I thought. The camera settings, I think the camera's on 60, but I'll check it. I'll check that again, Spencer. But yeah. I'm pretty sure the camera is on 60, but I will check. Right, anyway, Irish MP. There's an Irish Green MP who refuses to fly. Now, he went from Dublin, Dublin to Aberdeenshire to look at something that Scottish people had done. I don't know, made whiskey or something. Anyway, but he was going to there, and he refuses to fly. So the flight there, you could have picked up a cheap flight for about 70 or 80 quid, right? If you'd booked in advance. Even if you'd booked on the day, the flight would have cost you 200 quid, right? But now he went by train and ferry, and his total bill for a one-way trip was 475 quid. So to make a point by not flying, he more than doubled the price of an on-the-day ticket in the airplane. But he is Irish. So, and green Irishman. So there you go. So that's just the absurdity of it, isn't it? Anyway, there's a big. What's going on in Ireland anyway? Stormont seems to be gone on strike, haven't they? They haven't done anything. But I don't really know an awful lot about it. But apparently, they've not been in session for God knows how long, and people are people going to twig, right? That really they don't need them. And then they could turn around and go, well, hold on, actually, they've been on strike for that long, and yet everything keeps running. Why do we even have these people? So why do they even have them? So let's just get rid of them. Yeah, why not? Careful what you're doing, people. Get rid of them. Right, the Advertising Standards Authority. The Advertising Standards Authority pulled up a company that were advertising. Let me see if I can. See who it was. They had a model, right, who was a size 8 and was wearing a leather jacket, right. So, and the Advertising Standards Authority pulled her up because they weren't happy with her because they said she was unhealthily skinny. Yeah. So, Warehouse ad showed unhealthily thin model the Advertising Standards Authority finds. Manchester-based fashion retailer says its model fell within the NHS standard of a healthy weight. So, women within the NHS criteria for a healthy weight range is deemed too unhealthy to be unhealthily thin to be in an advert. Sounds like the Advertising Standards Authority needs to have a good look at itself. Yeah, I do have a pic, actually. Yeah. I mean, she's not fat. I wouldn't say she's unhealthily thin, though. She's got skinny legs. But let me see if I can pull her in somehow. Bear with me. There she is. Yeah. What do you think? Is she unhealthily thin? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, she's one of those birds that's got skinny legs, but she doesn't. Other than that, she doesn't look. She doesn't look that thin. You know, I mean, she's thin, but she's not. She's not unhealthily thin, I would say. I don't know what you guys think, but you know, I'm a bit chubbier. Yeah. Right. So yeah, she's fine. I thought so too. So there you go, yeah. So that's the Advertising Standards Authority imposing its Posing its thoughts on what people are using for skinny models. I'm surprised the letter. I'm surprised it didn't mention that she wasn't diverse enough. If she'd been a different colour, it might have been different. She might have been all right. Okay, lightning has been setting fire to wind turbines in Germany. So wind turbines have been hit by lightning and catching fire. And once they catch fire, they burn quite well because basically they're made of plastic and full of oil. You know, what's Just Stop Oil going to do? What are you going to power your wind turbine with? Because the gearbox has got like 80 gallons of oil in it that it needs to change every 9 months. So what would you do there? But anyway, yeah, when they get hit by lightning, they tend to burn quite well. So there you go. So there's been a few fires in Germany. Now, the other thing, talking of fires, is they appear to be burning down 5G towers in Ireland. What's all that about? Why are they doing that? So you guys, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys subscribe to the conspiracy theories about frequency and 5G and all that, but you got to think, you got to remember, right, when you're talking about frequency, 5G is like so many gigahertz. You know, let's say it's 4,000 gigahertz or something like that. But when you step out the door and the sun hits you, the sun's frequency and rays are in the terahertz ranges. They're massively much more powerful than you would get from any kind of Wi-Fi. So why will you worry about Wi-Fi when the sun is belting you with that as soon as you step out the door? Huh? I mean, it's a question of, it's like if you're trying to heat up a warehouse with a 1 bar fire, right? And the guy at the other end's got one of those big industrial gas blowers, you know? What one's going to work? What one's going to do the most damage if you stand in front of it? You're not going to go and stand in front of the gas blower, are you? You're going to go and huddle around the 1 bar fire. So, but people are just burning down the 5G towers, and all that's going to do is wreck your phone signal. And it's not like, I mean, the 5G towers aren't right at your head, you know. I mean, I don't know how many people actually use a phone as a phone these days. How many times do you actually make phone calls? I'm lucky if I speak on the phone once or twice a day. And when I do, it's normally on speaker and I hold it out here, so it's not even near me. You know, so I don't know. So there you go. I think the whole thing's a bit hyped up. I mean, I did a big, I was actually responsible for putting Wi-Fi into the schools in South Ayrshire. That was my job. I was in charge of the education IT, and I put Wi-Fi into all the schools, and all the primary schools and all the secondary schools in South Ayrshire. And we did our research. We did our due diligence, you know. There was nothing. There's nothing anywhere to indicate that Wi-Fi causes problems with kids or people generally. So I think it's one of these things that if you get a bee in your bonnet about it, then if that's what you want to do, fine, stay away from it. But don't go and burn down 5G towers. That's just crazy. What's the point? No, I'm not going to say it. But there are other devices you can pick on rather than 5G. I prefer cabled as well. And that's why I run all my computers through the cables rather than through Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on with my PC, right? I mean, I am an IT guy. And normally I've got everything running fine, but my PC, the Bluetooth connection for the mouse and the keyboard is really ripping my knitting because it's becoming very sporadic. I can't understand why. There's no particular reason why it should be. It's really annoying me. But it's Windows 10, so maybe that, because it might be time to rip it off and put it on fresh. What I see, Windows 10 does, it just clogs up, doesn't it? You know, after so many years or whatever, you're sometimes better just wiping the whole thing, put all your data on a couple of drives or whatever, and then just boom, wipe it and start from scratch. You know, and if you're smart about it, you don't even need to pay. For it. Anyway, Mr. Blanken went to China last week. So remember he went to see Xi Jinping. Now, did you know the day after that Blinken had been to China to see Xi Jinping, he finalised a deal for his training camp in Cuba. He'll put up to 1,000 Chinese troops, or is it 10,000 Chinese troops or whatever? So he's gonna have a stack of Chinese troops in Cuba. That's tremendous, isn't it? That's like, there you go, Blinken, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah, we're really scared of you, you know. We're back to 1962. It was like the Cuban Missile Crisis. And let's talk about the nuclear power plant and Zelensky. So Zelensky makes a statement that goes on about the nuclear power plant and how he thinks that Russia's going to blow it up and that everybody needs to be aware. And it's like, isn't this almost exactly what he did before he blew up the dam? Right? It's like, you know, everybody needs to be aware that the nuclear power plant could be blown up by Putin at any point. They've got the nuclear power plant. They occupy the nuclear power plant. They use the nuclear power plant to power Crimea, and it's the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe. But they're going to blow it up. Why would they blow it up? It gives them no advantage. They've already got it. Why would they want to blow it up? It's like, keep it simple. The only person that benefits from blowing up the nuclear power plant is Mr. Zelensky, not Putin. Putin! But it will be Putin's fault. It will be Putin's fault. Bad man, Putin. Bad man. Right. The man arrested for, do you remember the Nicola Bully TikTok video that he was inside the police cordon while she was getting dragged out of the water, I think, and he took some video and posted it on TikTok and got arrested for it. So I think he's been arrested again for stalking. Now, I don't think he's stalking Nicola Bully because, as far as I'm aware, she's still dead. But so I think he's obviously stalking what he thinks are either witnesses or maybe even guilty parties in the village, and he's been in breach of his bail conditions and things. So that's something to bear in mind. So we'll keep our eye on that one. Interesting. Oh, yes, the dog's getting thinner again, Shalini. That's good, because I told the wife to cut down the food that she was giving her. She was giving her food and mackerel. She was getting a mackerel and food. So I said one or the other. She gets one or the other. She likes mackerel or a sardine. Gets a whole sardine and wolfs it down. Right. Where are we? So, allegedly, speaking about Ukraine, allegedly, a US defense official has contacted CNN and told them, this sounds like a report card, doesn't it? It's the kind of report card you get at school. We have to say that Ukraine is not meeting expectations in any form as regards its either defence or offensive when it comes to the military in Ukraine. So there you go. Yeah, I think Ben's getting his appendix out tomorrow. So apparently it's to be keyhole surgery. I don't know how big the keyholes are going to have to be, though, to get that appendix out. But we'll see. Anyway, that's why it's called The Last Supper. Because he's not allowed to eat. but we can. We can eat and drink. Yeah, they're going in through his keyhole, apparently. That's why he'll be in and out the same day. Or at worst, one night over and then out. They don't want to keep you these days, do they? And he did say that, I did say, are you sure that it's your, I was trying to get him to do the old rebound test. If you think you got appendicitis, you know how to check. So you stick your fingers, you push your fingers in where the pain is, right? And if you take your hand away quickly, just take it off quickly, and that hurts worse than pushing it in, then that's a good sign that it's appendicitis. It's called rebound tenderness. Now, I'm not a doctor, and this is not medical advice, but it's probably a quick test that you could do if you thought you were worried and you might have appendicitis. You know how sometimes you get a pain in your gut? You just push it in, and then, as you let it out, if that hurts, and you'll know it hurts because it'll hurt like hell, if that happens, then there's a good chance it's appendicitis. And you should see a doctor at that point. Definitely. Yeah. So that's what's happening. I was trying to get him to do that last night, but he wasn't having it. He just says, it hurts. He's such a ponce. He really is. What he's probably done is taken too much opiates and clogged up his digestive system. So it's ground to a halt, and he's probably got an impacted bowel or something. And see, this is the thing I don't like about surgeons, because surgeons, by their very nature, just like to get right in there and cut things out, whether they need to or not. I'd rather they had a bit of an, feel around's not quite the right word, but you know what I mean? I'd rather they kind of step back a little bit just to make sure that it is something that needs to be removed, because one of the girls that used to work for us had her gallbladder removed, and it turned out she didn't need her gallbladder removed. There's nothing wrong with her gallbladder, and now she doesn't have a gallbladder. And it made no difference to the pain that she was getting. So it wasn't her gallbladder. And that's the kind of thing that's like hitting a miss. And you don't really want people playing operation on your body, when they don't have a clue what they're actually doing. Should we send a card? No!
We just need cash. I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
Send him flowers if he dies, but sorry, I shouldn't say that. I should have asked for his wife's number, or I hope his wife's. I'll ping him and say, "Has your wife got my number so she can let me know if you don't make it?" Because obviously I don't want to be turning up on Monday and going, "Where the hell is he?" And then you guys go, "Oh, haven't you helped?" Don't worry, people. I'll probably go first. Anyway. Oh, Shirley's had it through her keyhole. Don't know about that. You should do that anyway as a prank. In fact, you guys, you should just send it with deepest sympathy cards to the house now, shouldn't we? So we can't do it. We can't do that. For God's sake, man. Get a grip. This is someone's life you're dealing with. Right. Okay. Sorry. There's always a risk, though, with a general anaesthetic. They do tell you that. There's always a risk with a general anaesthetic. They told me that when they burnt the C in my chest. So I was in hospital with a irregular heartbeat. They decided they were going to give me a shock to try and fix it. And the shock, unfortunately, was not saying that your bill is. So they actually put me under and then zapped me. And all they succeeded in doing was burning a C into my chest. And I thought, well, that's appropriate, isn't it? Yeah. So I wasn't best pleased because it fucking hurt. Thank you, Andrew. We'll remember that. Right. Oh, 2 hours in the space of 44, 2 ops in the space of 48 hours? That's not good at all. Did they mess up the first one or whatever? Silly. That's shocking. Imagine doing that. What do you think my superhero name is? See you next Tuesday. I think that could be the only thing. Oh, right, okay. Well, obviously you pulled through, so that was good. Well done. Right. Anyway, right. Yeah. So where was I? Oh yeah, Ukraine's report card. Ukraine not meeting it. I think we're getting pretty close to the end now, guys, because of the reports I'm getting, certainly from Ukraine and from the intelligence analysts that I follow on YouTube and Twitter and things like that, are that there's not a lot left. Not a lot left. Still talking it up in the West, but everything they seem to be throwing in there just seems to be burning. Leopard tanks burn, Bradley's burn, storm chasers get shot down, or whatever they're called, Stormbringers. I can't remember. What's that missile? Storm Shadows, yeah. Stormbringer would have been better, wouldn't it? That was old, what's his name? Michael Moorcock used to have Elric of Malebony with a big Stormbringer. That was his sword, the one that would steal your soul. Yeah, I used to like that kind of fantasy stuff. That was quite good. Count Brass and all that, running about the Camargue. Been down there as well. But anyway, right. So, where are we now? I'm sorry. I'm wondering. I'm just having a conversation with you guys. I'm just kind of wandering off onto you know. Probably things you probably never even heard of Michael Moorcock, but he was quite a big writer in my day. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have ever. Do you guys ever read? Do you ever read anymore? Does anyone read anymore? Do you read books? I find I don't really have the time to read books. I do like reading books. I started reading Michael Moore's book. I found it in the new premises. They left some stuff and. I was like, and there was this book. There's one by George Galloway as well on Fidel Castro. I might have a go at that. Yeah, Chronicles of the Black Sword and all that. Yeah. But you're right, Spencer. Actually, what I've done is I said I had a word with myself the other day. Oh, pardon me. I had a word with myself the other day, and I said, what I said was, John, you're going to have to write this book. So I've decided that I'm going to write the book over the winter because I think I'll have more time then, right? So I'm going to write the book over the winter, and I'm going to target having it ready for, say, the beginning of March. How does that sound? Yeah. So that means during those cold winter months, I can be snuggled in with my hot chocolate, dictating my book. Because you can dictate on Google and it's pretty good. You actually don't even need to type it anymore. You can just, chat it out. But yeah, and you got to go back and fix it and all that, because there's always a bit of, and you reword things and stuff. But yeah, I'm thinking March. Does that sound reasonable for a book? Yeah. And then I'll put it on Amazon and you can buy it. You're not getting it for nothing. Nippy in the Magical Motorhome, yeah. Right. And there's news on the van. So the van should apparently be ready for its MOT next week. So we may be getting the van back. That would be about time. That's been about 8 months. Right. Von der Leyen, Ursula von der Leyen has said, in retrospect, when saying that we're going to apply, you know, the EU were going to apply more sanctions against Putin. She said, in retrospect, it's difficult to see how we can apply anymore. So they've applied that many restrictions. They can't figure out how to apply any more, right? And yet the sanctions don't appear to be making that much of a difference. So what the hell is going on? Who are these sanctions hurting? Because I'm still of the opinion these sanctions are hurting us. They're hurting Europe, and particularly Germany, which is, remember, Germany's 32% of the gross domestic product of Europe. 32%. They account for a third of everything that comes out of Europe. So if it's hurting Germany, it's hurting Europe. And it's certainly hurting us. And they're probably hurting the States as well. So, although the States exist in this kind of this bubble where they don't understand that the world is actually falling out with them. And they're really kind of losing their oh God, I've forgotten how to say it again. It's the economy with their dollar, because nobody needs it anymore. Nobody needs it. And I've always, Andrew, and I'll give Andrew fair kudos today. He came up with a video that explains the why people, you know, needed the US dollar and how it affected their economies and how it affected the US economy. I've always made it very simple in that if oil's not traded in dollars, you don't need to trade with America, because you then don't need dollars to buy oil. So that's why oil's always been traded in dollars, because if you don't trade oil in dollars, you don't need to trade with America. And if you don't trade oil in dollars, America comes in and installs freedom, i.e. Libya, Iraq, you know, and so on. But now we're getting to the point that even Saudi Arabia is talking about not trading oil in dollars. So America's going to be struggling. Right. Where are we? The nanny state. I don't quite get this one. Some minister was on talking about having to take measures to protect people from extreme heat. And what kind of measures? And this is in the UK. What kind of measures are they going to take to protect people from extreme heat? Are they going to issue us all air conditioners or what? I mean, how does that work? How are you going to protect people from extreme heat? And where is this extreme heat? Because, yeah, it's been pleasantly warm. Let's face it. You've not had to turn the heating on recently, right? And it's maybe even been a bit stuffy of an evening occasionally. But it's not extreme heat. I mean, if you've been to like Death Valley, that's extreme heat. That's like 50 degrees centigrade. You step out the car and you think, holy shit, I've stepped into an oven. And you jump back in the car and turn the air conditioner back on, despite all the signs that say, think of your car, leave your air conditioner off. Sod that. What's the point in having a car with an air conditioner if you can't use it when it's hot? I don't care about the car, especially because it's hired, but yeah, I kept the air conditioner on. I can assure you, 50 degrees centigrade is not to be laughed at. That's very, very hot. Also, France have been turned down, have they? I didn't pick that one up, Andrew. That's good. So yeah, because Macron wanted to go, didn't he? And Ranthrapan had to go and ask Xi if he could come or not. So obviously Xi said, "Oh no, France, not yet." But yeah, France is really wanting to be they're kind of wanting to be the leaders of Europe. Or I don't think they want to be the leaders of Europe. I think they want to be out of Europe, because I think Frexit, I think they could be next. I thought initially might have been the Italians, but I'm putting my money on the French. I think the French might be next out of Europe. And certainly they'll probably be first out of NATO as well, because the French have no great love for NATO. But yeah, yeah, that would be good. We'll see what happens here. Right, now here's a weird one. So you turn up at there's a party. Okay, so no arrests have been made. And this is in the Daily Mail, right? So it's a UK one. So 4 kids, and I'm reading 4 kids aged between 5 and 10 taken into care after being found at a drag party with a dead trans woman's body on the floor and drugs and sex toys scattered throughout the home. Fire officials found 4 children jammed together in a cramped room, surrounded by filth and a stench permeating the air. The children were reportedly being hid in a back room by a man dressed in women's clothing who were uncooperative and denied having children inside. A transgender black woman was pronounced dead at the scene, according to a police report. This is one squalid, screwed up party. Yeah, this doesn't sound good at all. So where was this? Right, hold on. Was this in America? Was this in... It's hard to tell. It says Boston, right? Oh, it is. It's in America. This was in Boston. Initially, you got to be careful because there's Boston in the north. In the north east, isn't there? There's a Boston near Sunderland and all that. But yeah, so that's been one hell of a party. That's not the kind of party that you really want to take your kids to. I have no idea what's going on there. It's just horrible. Horrible people and horrible things have happened. Absolutely horrible. Right, speaking of horrible things, Obama's coming back to the fore. What's he doing, right? So Obama is he kind of seems to be taking over from Gates, doesn't he? He's kind of trying to, and not in the same way, but you know, he's coming back into the limelight. So he's called for. He wants everyone to have digital fingerprints, right? So that the police can arrest people who share non-mainstream news. Yeah. Well done, Obama. He's striking out for freedom of speech, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, that's what he wants. He wants you to have digital fingerprints, i.e., he wants you unable to get on the internet unless you're identified and trackable, so that you can be tracked down and arrested if you share non-mainstream news. He's another Tony Blair. He's just he's slightly more tanned. Right, where are we now? Right, did you know? Have anyone ever been to the National the National Arboretum, the memorial for the war dead? And I can't remember exactly where. I've been there, but I can't remember exactly where it is. It's down near. I think it's near Alton Towers type way. It's down that neck of the woods, near Stoke. So I knew about that before I'd ever been there, right? I never knew we had a national... Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. But I didn't know we had a national COVID memorial wall. Did you know that? Did you people know that? National COVID memorial wall, right? No, I don't know. I don't know what's on it. I don't know if it's with or from or both, right? I don't know if it specifies of with or from, right? So apparently we do. And you know how I know that we have a national COVID memorial wall? Because it has its own webpage and Twitter feed. And it blocked someone today. And they're not much funnier than seeing the National COVID Memorial Wall has blocked you. You got to laugh though. You got to laugh. Right. The science is in, okay? So the science is in, and this is an official study. The science is in. Right-wing women are more attractive than lefties. There you go. Right-wing women are more attractive than left-leaning women. So there you go. If you're a right-winger, consider yourself more attractive than a lefty. And that's science. That's true. Yep.
That's true.
That's it. That's the science. That's in. So you can't argue with that because you're not allowed to argue with science anymore. You can't argue with science. Mansfield Council turned a redundant car park into a memorial garden. A memorial for what? For the pandemic. Yeah, okay. Right. I think you're talking about the more attractive women, Andrew, and suggesting that perhaps the fact that right-wing women use soap might be the deciding factor. I like your thinking. Hey, what about Glastonbury? Is it really 340 quid for a ticket to get into Glastonbury? Really? 340 quid? You get the Grand Prix cheaper than that. I mean, really? 340 quid? To what? To listen to Charlene Spiteri? And watch Jeremy Corbyn's weird movie? And be surrounded by a bunch of poor smelling lefties? I don't fancy either. I think I tell you what I would fancy doing. I quite fancy doing Burning Man in the desert in Nevada. I think that could be all right. That looks quite impressive. But I certainly don't fancy doing Glastonbury. But yeah, Burning Man looks quite cool. Oh, you need to have a look at it, Spencer. Just research it. Just Burning Man. It's pretty safe. Well, it might be safe, but it's definitely looks like a good gig. Yeah, I quite fancy it. Down camping, quite right. I don't do camping anymore either. I used to do camping, but as you get older, you don't want to do camping. It's no fun. No fun. You just wake up. What? That's a bit Wicker Man-ish, but it's better than that. Right. I think I'm down to the last item, guys. Unless you guys have got anything, I've got one item left. And it's a made-up one, obviously, from the Sunday Sport, but it's tremendous, right? And I'm going to read it out because it is funny. I think I've got one left. Yes. Let me see if I can just throw this picture up. So it would appear that this chap, who was keen to take advantage of the early summer sun, Dave, right, was intrigued to read about a new health thing about catching the sun on parts of your body that wouldn't normally be exposed to the sun. Right? Some might even say a starship. Starship? No, a starfish. Anyway, so he was exposing this to the sun to get the life-giving rays of the sun on it and to improve his general health when his Great Dane when his Great Dane thought, aye, I'll have a bit of that. And then proceeded to think, well, yeah, I'm going to have a go at that. And I mean, if you've ever been around a Great Dane, it's very difficult to stop them doing something once they try and start, you know. They are very big dogs. So anyway, at this point, apparently, the local judges for the local council best garden competition appeared. and were quite perturbed by the scene that was presented to them. Poor Dave was aghast and feels that his chances of winning the best garden of the year has gone down dramatically. I would say so, Dave. Maybe in future, mate, keep your budgie smugglers on. Oh. So anyway, yeah, so there we go. I think that's a good one to end on. I hope you've enjoyed this, people. I hope you have. I hope Spencer. It does bring a whole new meaning to the term dogging. Yeah, you know what? A Great Dane, Shalini. I remember once a Great Dane jumped up at me, put its paws on my shoulders, and its head was above mine. And it's like, bloody hell, that thing's big. I mean, they're really, really big. Oh, come on, people. Ben's going to be really upset. I've got 17 watchers and only 8 thumbs showing. Come on.
We just need cash. I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
Yeah. So, yeah, come on. You can hit that button. Hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. People. I'm very disappointed. I mean, we were ending on such a high. And you've really brought the mood down. What have you done? Come on, get in there. Right, anyway, yeah, so anything from the chat, anything from the troll room? Would you like anything covered? Is there anything that I haven't covered today that you thought was maybe worthy of your and my attention? You got anything? Pass our best wishes on to Ben. Yes, indeed I will. As always, he very much in our thoughts this evening as he prepares for his momentous step tomorrow when he goes under the mask and the knife. So hopefully we'll get him sorted. Oh, anything dwarf? Yeah, I saw somebody that had a dwarf the other day, and I thought even he's got a dwarf, or was it? What was it? It was that guy, Matt Tacey. Do you remember Matt Tacey? We had him on the show, the NHS mental health nurse. He's got a dwarf. He has a dwarf. We just need a dwarf. Don't send us cash, just send us a dwarf. Right, I take it nobody's going to bother hitting the like button, so fuck yous all. Ben's not tall. He's tall. He's actually not that small, to be fair. He's not a dwarf. I mean, just because he sits down a lot, that doesn't make him a dwarf. He's not that short. I know, Shalini, and I've noted that you have volunteered quite a few times, so I thank you for that. And I do hear that you are quite small. Right. So there we go, people. It's always a quick one when I'm just on my own, because it's hard to sometimes, you miss your colleague when you can bounce ideas off each other and talk about things. So it's always a little bit quicker. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I've certainly enjoyed it. It's been a good time. And I shall look forward to seeing you on Monday, hopefully with Ben. You know what? It's been great for you.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink, cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop